Good morning. My name is Brian Crow and I'm president of Pu'uwai Canoe Club. Whether you're joining us here down at the Laola River in Pu'uwai or you're watching us on YouTube or our website, we'd like to welcome you to our first of 3 clinics on outrigger canoe paddling. We are very fortunate this year to have with us 3 excellent paddlers who are now coaching for us here at Pu'uwai Canoe Club at the Laola River in Pu'uwai. Luke Eslin, Kelly Foster, and Jeremy Cole are our new coaches this year. These are probably names that are very well known to you. If not now, they will be by the end of this clinic. Also, Laola Lake will be here providing safety tips and information that are absolutely essential to guard your friends, your equipment, and your companions on the open ocean. Because mistakes happen, accidents happen, you have to be prepared for them.
A lot of you have been through this. I'm going to try to go quickly through the OC1 and go to the OC6 because that is coming up. How many have not been through an OC1 safety clinic before? How many have not? Oh, okay, thank you. First of all, before you even embark out on the OC1, you should have your boat equipped with certain things. Can anybody tell me what this boat is missing? It's very evident to most. Anybody know? Just look right. Thank you. A leash. I have to look. You might have a leash. Oh, I got a leash. Okay. I like to try to keep my leash on the boat at all times. It's hard when you have husbands and wives. Husbands do stuff. They take off their leashes. Like, oh, where's my leash? So I like to just keep it on. The more things you keep on your boat, the less you have to worry about when you go to do a run. Because a lot of times you get the call 10:30, we're meeting at 11, and the less you have to worry about what you have on your boat at all times, the better. So I like to leave the leash on the boat. The other things, I'm going to have Tenley come up and tell you what this is. This is something too that Conway and I have. He makes a little packet like this. The rougher the ocean, when there's really a lot of white caps out there, this is something that I'm not sure where you can get them. I don't know if the life has them, but what this is it's a long flag. It goes out, it stretches out to about 27 feet. And this is in case of an emergency where somehow it's white capping out there, you're in trouble, and they're doing an air search for you. Sometimes with the boat upside down, they can't see a 22-foot white boat with so many white caps out, but they can see this from the helicopter. And I don't really want to stretch it out because then somebody's going to be responsible for rolling it back up. So that's kind of a bummer. So that's what that is. What this is, and this is important, and let me get back to, here's what can happen out on the ocean. Either your equipment failure or your physical failure. So we're covering now, both of those things. One of 2 things is going to happen. Either you're going to get hurt or your boat or equipment's going to get hurt. The other thing that you should always have is an extra paddle. And Kathy Brock here is probably the latest example of why it was good to have an extra paddle, because of those of you that did Kendall, you know that coming into Kikilo Harbor this last time there was a surf. And I don't know the exact story, but I do know that she broke a paddle. But luckily she had an extra paddle on her boat, is that right? And so she was able to get her extra paddle. And I know that for myself, I've broken a paddle twice outside surf, once outside First Break, once outside Anini. If I didn't have an extra paddle, that would have been a bummer. Years ago, only 2 people carried extra paddles, I think Hippo and Arthur Chow. And then I started hearing one, people started like thinking, oh good, we got an extra paddle for. But as things happen, you start to see how important it is. So how you put your extra paddle on your boat is important as well. Here, you can actually, if you have no place else to put it, this bungee, you could actually string it under here. You could string it under here. Like this. And then I tend to tape it down so it doesn't flap around. Okay, the other way is, I see a lot of people, put it like this. Now, I used to tape it to that until one day I realized that I took the tape off because I'd broken a paddle, and or I'd lost the paddle and I had to go get it. And then all of a sudden I can't retape it because the tape's now not sticky anymore. So it's better to use, either you can get little Velcro things that you can get at Home Depot, or rubber is good too, so keep that in mind. Taping is not the best option. You want something that you can then, when you don't need your extra paddle anymore, put it back on. Waterproof for cell phones. If you have a flip phone and you have a SIM card, you can go to Walmart and get a really cheap bar phone for 19 bucks. Take your SIM card out, put it in the bar phone, stick it in here, and then you've got, that's one way you can do it. I now own an extra little waterproof VHF. I like to have this in situations where I'm going to be somewhere where I don't think I'm going to get cell phone coverage. So this is good. And plus, someone is constantly monitoring channel 16 all the time. You might not get your friend that you think you're going to call, or Tony's not picking up his phone and I need help. Okay, well, somebody on channel 16 emergency is listening. You need help, you call channel 16, you'll get response right away. So that's why I like to have this. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. The other things that can happen to broken paddle, you can solve that by extra paddle. Now, Andy Penny and Maui used to do this. Okay, so broken cable. What are you going to do if your cable breaks? How many people have been out and had a broken cable? Tom, have you? Broken cable. Okay. What do you do? Have you ever tried to paddle on a canoe that the cable broke? It's just going to keep going in circles. So what you have to do, there's two things you can do. If you carry an extra string, which Kamu has in here, you can tie the string to the back of the steering, back here. Tie this back here. It's going to run all the way forward, and you can tie it to your big toe. I mean, that's not the most ideal thing, but then that's going to help you steer the boat in. Or, in lieu of that, and that's why these rudderless guys got it going on, you can take a piece of rubber or something and shove it under the front part of your the rubber. The front part of the fin here. And you got to make sure it's in there so that you want this to stay stable. Because what happens is now you've lost steering, it's like this. You try to paddle with it like this, you're just going to keep going in circles. And you'll do that in the flat water. When you get out in the ocean, it's going to be even worse. So what you want to do is turn this into fixed. It has to stay fixed. And the only way that's going to stay fixed is if you shove something, and you got to shove it in the front. Okay, so you've got to shove it in the front. So make sure you got something. The rubber's pretty good, you know. And it's just a tiny little piece of something that you can put in your extra pack and your water pack. And these packs can carry a lot of stuff. They really can.